Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunch with Linda. I'm Linda Daniels, and you are now inside Northampton Wolves. Welcome to all of you. We've got a lot to talk about today, lots of stuff. So if you grab a pen and paper, you're going to be able to take notes. But as usual, Kate will be putting show notes in everything that we talk about. And you find those show notes where?
It's kind of like a caption under the video.
Okay. Yeah. So under the video, there's some
text, and then it says more, ...
And then you have to click on that, and that will bring up everything that we have hopefully talked about today. Mm-hmm. So here it is, the last Monday in March. It's like, what? Yes. How did that happen? The first quarter is already gone to the year? Man, it's so true, right? The older you get, the faster it all goes. But I want to get right into it. Some of you may have seen the comment from last week's post from a young woman who said her boyfriend came in and was not greeted or helped. And that really bothered me. And I want to talk about that because at every single staff meeting, I have a moment where I talk to the staff about how I want them to react when people come in the door. And we try really, really hard to make sure that as soon as we hear that door open, we look up and we say hello. And that's what I want people to know. We want to greet you. We want to say hi. We don't ask if you need help right away. I don't like that feeling when I walk into a store of feeling like somebody's going to watch my every move or follow me around, or that I need a purpose to walk in the store, although most of you do have a purpose for coming here. Sure. But we want you to get a feel for the place. I feel like you're coming into my living room and a safe, comfortable, happy spot. So the very first thing is that we say hello. Now, if some of you have been here on a Saturday, there are almost always two people on, and one person is behind the desk. They may be checking somebody out. I'm usually at the table or on the floor somewhere, which means I'm either available, but most of the time helping somebody else. So you might walk in the door when we're both in the middle of a conversation and can't immediately say hi, but I've interrupted myself plenty of times to say hello. Mm-hmm. I also feel like as a customer, you have a certain obligation as well. When you walk in the door, lift your head up, make eye contact, and that is a clear pathway to us to know that you're in the store looking for somebody, wanting a greeting. We will even say hello when you don't look up, but there's a certain amount of back and forth here as well. Now, we have two types of men that come into the store. There are many other types as well, but we have the type of man who's in the store with his wife or mother or grandparent or even their daughters, who are more than happy to share some man jokes, dad jokes they call them, some dad jokes with us about knitting and sheep and wool, which usually has me on the floor laughing anyway. Or they talk about what knitting has meant in their life, seeing their grandmother or their mother knit, or share stories with us about their own knitting. Many servicemen have learned to knit and knit their own socks. Mm-hmm. Those guys are great. Then there's the guy that comes in who's immediately overwhelmed by the femininity, if you know what I mean, by the feeling that this place isn't for them. They don't last long. They are usually in and out. They've even said, I'll be out on the bench waiting for you. That's okay. Mm-hmm. But if a man comes in by himself, he needs to let us know. I mean, that applies to everybody. You need to let us know in some fashion, again, that you are either looking for something specific, on a mission for somebody in your life, or that you want some help.
Or that you want to be talked to.
Or that you want to be talked to, exactly. If you zoom in, head down, do the 360 and out the door, we don't even have a chance to say, what are you looking for? Or how can we help you? I um, I I I take a great deal of pride in how this place operates, and it means a lot to me that every time somebody comes in, they're made to feel welcome. If that's been your experience, I hope you will share it, or at least let us know. And if we haven't measured up, let us know that, because at our next staff meeting, I'll make sure I cover that topic again. It's a small space. Everybody should be greeted and made to feel like we are available. And we will work and work and work until we get it 100% right. I know it's not ever going to happen. It can't. There are just times when we're in the middle of stuff and just cannot say that initial hello. But spend a minute in here and somebody's gonna be able to make eye contact with you and ask if you need something. But again, we have a responsibility, and customers share some of that burden to make themselves known and what they need. I just needed to, because it bothered me all weekend. And we really do try. Okay, so here it is, March, we're moving into spring, and we continue to get new yarn. I can't believe it. But this week, we got in a new yarn from Trendsetter. It's actually from Lana Grassa, and it's called Gomatolo Mambo. And this is a yarn, we're seeing more and more of this kind of thing. This is 100% cotton that doesn't look like cotton. You almost have to see this close up, I think, to really appreciate it, but it's got a slightly brushed look to it. And I'm going to ask Kate to hold it really close to the camera so that you can see. It's a very soft look. It's not mercerized, so it's not clean and smooth. It's really a little bit, I don't want to say fuzzy, but
Halo.
yeah, maybe a little bit of a halo. When you first look at it, you would almost think that there's some wool in here. There is not. It is 100%, and we're seeing this more often too, bio wool or bio cotton. Balm wool is the word for cotton. In the description,
It means tree wool.
it means tree.
Balm
Balm wool means tree wool, exactly, which is a cotton. But we're seeing the bio in front of or after the descriptions a lot now, and we have learned that that means organic. So these are organic cottons, and I think that must relate to pesticide use because it is dyed, and these are dyed in color. So there's a you can see it best in this skein. There is a tonal quality that goes through different colors, or a variegated color. It's not real stripy. I loved this color right away, and you know who else did as well. And I started to knit with it already. And it does have a bit of a striped effect, but not clean lines. It's pretty all over the place as it moves from color to color. And it is really nice to knit with. Yes, this is a pattern that I got on Ravelry called Blooming Tea, and it looks like this, and it doesn't show that well. The top of this pattern, the yoke is all stocking net stitch, and then the bottom of it has this little all over cable pattern in it, so it adds some depth. I liked it because it's different. We're so used now to seeing yoke patterns, either color work or like the ranunculus, some kind of stitch pattern in the yoke, that I thought having something on the bottom would be really fun for summer. It will add a little bit of weight and a little bit of swing to that bottom. So I've gotten this far. I have one more good increase to do and a little bit of length to add before I will be ready to separate for the sleeves. And this is how far I've gotten with one skein. So I think one skein is going to take me right to the underarm. And then the body will probably only be another skein, maybe two, depending on how much length I want to do. But it's got really good yardage. It is, what is it? It's about 260 yards per skein. So it goes really, really far. But I wanted to show you this today because I am at the point where it's getting uncomfortable to have this many stitches crammed onto this needle. And I'm going to change to a longer cord. I am using the needles from my mini Likey set. And that means that I only have short cords in here. And this is the longest. You get 2 of the really short cords and then one that's probably resulting in a 24 to 26 inch length. So I don't have enough length to continue, especially this next increase, which is going to take me well over 300 stitches. And this is one of those cases where the simple, obvious thing is sometimes hard to kind of figure out or to do. And so I want to show you how easy it is to change the cord length without changing the needle or without using another needle. In every package, every kit, and in every cord package, you get a package of these little black discs that a lot of people don't understand. These are stoppers. They go on the ends of the cords so that your stitches don't fall off. And the first step in this process is to undo the tip and to put the stopper on that end of the cord. I undid the tip that would go in my right hand. So the tip in my left hand is the one that I would be knitting off of. The yarn is attached to the right hand tip, all right? So that now looks like that, and the stitches won't fall off. I've purchased a longer length of the Knit Pros because that works on these needles, and I've already put the other disc that comes in the package on one end of this longer cord. Now I'm going to put my needle tip back onto this longer cord and just tighten that up. If you need a tool, there are tools in there too to tighten it. And I hold it like this and I start knitting with basically the new needle. And I will knit all the way around. And when I do, all of the sweater will be transferred onto the longer cord. And when I get to the end, I'll unscrew this tip and screw it onto the other end where the stopper is. Take the stopper off and put the other needle tip on there. That way, I've transferred everything without having to slip stitches. I get another row of knitting done. It's the same needle and the exact same brand. And I've been hearing a couple of people talk about even switching brands and sometimes even switching sizes. You get a different, it feels different when you're knitting because the tips are slightly different. But in this case, everything stays the same. I've been knitting with this needle and will continue to knit this needle. So it's all in what you do with the tips. I just wanted to show you guys how simple that is. Kate and I have made a little video of that whole process, and we'll be putting that up on our YouTube channel for you to reference when you need to change that as well. Well, that's not the only new yarn that we got in. A lot of times we get an initial order in and then other colors drift in. And that happened in this case with the Cotton Air. This is another one of those cottons that doesn't look like cotton. This is a mohair in cotton, and I've showed it to you when it first came in, but we got 3 new colors in. This is 70% of the Super Kid mohair and 30% cotton. And this really feels great. Look at that purple. I am in love with that purple color. And the cotton adds the softness to the mohair so that it's not itchy without the shine that you sometimes get with silk. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is a whole nother look on it. So we just got those 3 new colors in this week. I am so tempted.
To make
A ranunculus, another ranunculus using this with a fingering weight yarn. I'm One thing at a time,
One thing at a time.
or 8 things at a time.
Maybe 20 things at a time.
Exactly. So what should I do? Should I do another ranunculus?
Oh, we've got a question from Lori. She said the Likey set also has connectors. Can you add another cord from the set to the existing cord to make it longer?
You absolutely can. In fact, Kate and I talked about doing that, and I thought it might be a little bit too long, but it actually comes with 2 connectors. So you could connect all 3 cords together.
Whoa.
And it's just a question of how comfortable you are. It does make a little bit of a bump in the road. Not quite as bad as a pothole, but it's not quite as smooth as a full needle. But yes, you can connect the remaining cords together and do it that way as well. Good question. Thank you for that.
And what size needle would you use for this yarn?
So if you wanted to use this yarn by itself, again, this is a thin mohair, and you could do it up to a size 7 or 8 needle is going to give you that lacy, see-through kind of look. We get this from Trendsetter Yarn, and they have an absolute dynamite. There's actually 3 sweater patterns that I'm waiting for those patterns to come in, and they're all shown with just the mohair by itself, and they are the perfect spring into summer kind of throw it on over a tank top or something. Really, really looks nice. So you will be seeing something in the shop done with that mohair just by itself. Then we also got in, and I just fell in love with the name of this yarn. This is the Gomatolo Hippie. This is also from Lana Grasso, and it's beautiful in the skein. This is 30%. Okay, wait a minute. Let me start with the most. It's 60% cotton. Am I seeing that correct? No, 66% cotton, 30% hemp, and 4% linen. This has that kind of hemp linen feel. It's pretty dry and crackly.
It's like the
almost.
Matita.
It is like the Matita. It needs to be washed once you're done working with it to really help soften it up. But this comes in some really interesting colors. There's this blue.
It has like some contrast in there too.
There is, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I haven't started to knit it because we just got it in on, was it Friday? I think it came. And then this natural, which I really love.
Wow.
I really like that.
Is stylish.
When I was out at Trendsetter over Christmas and ordered this yarn, Anita had this sweater there. So I actually saw the sweater, which is one of the reasons why I ordered the yarn. But it knits up kind of like a tie-dye. That's why they called it hippie, because it has that not all over color work and it doesn't really stripe. It kind of erratically fades into one color and another. So it is really fun. They did that long sleeve sweater, but I'd love to see this just in a little tank top or also in a little t-shirt as well. I think that would be looking really, really cute. Well, we've got these yarns front and center, and then today we got another box from Trendsetter. More colors for yarn that we already have, which is the modern tweed. This shawl I have showed you before. It is basically knit on the diagonal. That means that you are increasing at one end and decreasing on the other and knitting and purling in between. There's a little bit of a slip stitch edge so that it doesn't roll. And then it's just 3 colors, but you're knitting with the yarn doubled in each of those sections. Now we've got these 3 colors already in stock, plus a few others. And then today we got this, oh, I didn't open it. Incredibly beautiful pink. I've been in a pink mood lately when I've been ordering. This looks like,
It looks like candy.
I was just going to say candy. Some kind of candy.
Look at those speckles.
What is that? It's nonpareils that have those sometimes multicolored sprinkles on top. And to go with it, this really beautiful seafoam kind of color, not really green, not really blue, but gorgeous.
All right.
And then a purple. Oh my God. Look at these three together.
Ooh, wait.
Now we're talking Easter and spring, and a really fun turquoise. So all kinds of combinations. Now the shawl that I just showed you is big and long. It really needs to be doubled up. You don't need to make it that long. I think that the pattern for this uses 2 skeins of each color, and look how long this one section is. If you got 1 skein of each color and worked from both the inside and the outside of the ball, you could end up with a shawl, but each color section would be half that size, but still wearable as a summer kind of scarf or shawl. So it doesn't have to be this big. You don't need 6. You could get away with 3 skeins. So I can't wait to get that stuff on the shelf.
Gosh. Jen Gerhardsen said she has a sweater for that pink.
Ooh, Jen. All right. Again, that is a mohair, a thin mohair, so it will give you a very airy, open look. We're not done. We got one more yarn in, but I didn't put it on the table.
No.
This, I rarely will order a fingering weight cotton for the store just because it's fingering weight. It takes a long time to knit. But this year we've had several people ask, and crocheters especially will be able to get something done quickly for the season for this yarn. This also is 100% cotton, and it is bio, which means it's organic cotton, and they call it tonal, the Gomatolo tono meaning tonal. So that means that it is all the same color, but it moves from light to dark, and you can see that in these skeins. It's going back and forth between a light shade and a darker shade. And we got some of the basic colorways in. I don't know, I'm going to try a balancing act. Woo! I did it! And the gray. Beautiful. So like I said, crocheters will love this. I think I might do something, maybe a little shawl or something in this crochet, but you can knit with it as well. So if you've been looking for a fingering weight cotton, we now have you covered.
Ooh, I like that.
And we have you colored as well.
In some juicy
Yeah, in
colors.
some juicy. In fact, that's the description Kate said that they have on their website, that it's a juicy tonal. It has 375 yards per skein. 2 skeins is going to be all you're going to need to make a decent short sleeve t-shirt. It won't make a long sleeve. You'll probably need to go into the 3rd for a long sleeve, but definitely you just might get a short thing. I'm thinking of who did the little bralettes. What's her name? Jessie Maid. Any of her little cropped tops would definitely, you would be able to do in 1 skein of this. So that's going to go out this week. All of these yarns are already on the website and active, so you can take a closer look at the colors and order them if you like. Woohoo! I just love getting new stuff in. This little shawl that I have on, I'm wearing on top of a sweater. I opened up another box of things to put away, or getting a box of things to put away ready, and found this in the bottom of my shawl section, bag, whatever, and was like, oh. And I have on a red shirt, but it's so cold and yucky out today that I couldn't wear just the shirt and the shawl, so I had to put the sweater on. But this shawl is basically a yarn over knit 2 together pattern throughout. I can't quite remember what the name of the pattern was, but we'll find it. But it's real easy. Once you do the edging, then you're just yarning over, knitting 2 together on every single row. But I remembered that it was done with the Amatola Grande. Again, this is a 1 skein project. This yarn, we have what's left on sale. It was an expensive yarn. It was over, I think, around $35 a skein. And now it's marked down to $24. I hope you heard her. So now it's $27 roughly for one skein of this. And one skein is enough to make, I think, a decent sized shawl with the point in the back. It's one of those wedges. So you start small and keep increasing up until you either A, run out of yarn, or B, have a big enough shawl. So we have 4 colors left of this. This is the one that I used for the shawl that I have on, and a gray. Oh, it's a kind of a blue, brown, gray color. These are also have been on the website, and the sale price is available on the website too. And as soon as I look in my Ravelry library and rediscover exactly which pattern it was, I will put that. We can put the pattern recommendation on that website page.
Of course.
Yeah, so we'll try to do that. Otherwise, look at what you've got in your Ravelry library. Like I said, there's 273 yards in each skein, and that's plenty, especially to do this kind of open work shawl. We love, and you know we do, Laine magazine, or Laine as it's called, and they have been doing a super job of not only publishing the magazines and special issues, but also publishing books for up-and-coming designers. And their new book is called Everyday Knits by Paula, that name, Narkiniemi.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Something like that. She's known as Poolaknits, and she is from Finland. This book is really great. Everyday Knits is not just things that you can wear every day, but things that are simple and yet fun to knit. This book has a lot of construction in it for the sweaters that knit the back yoke and then pick the stitches up for the front and knit the fronts down. But it really runs the gamut. There's sweaters, there's a shawl or two, there's socks. And the names of the patterns are just delightful. Teenage Dream, Jolene, Love on the Brain, Dancing on My Own, Push It, No Ordinary Love, and Who Knew, which are for these capped mittens in the back. It's a great little book. You can check it out the next time you come in. And we are like waiting at the door anxiously for scrap knitting. 52 weeks of scrap knits. And I printed out one of the patterns. They have listed the patterns on Ravelry, but you can't buy the patterns on Ravelry. You have to buy the book. Oh. But the pictures alone are generating a lot of excitement, and I wanted to tell you that it is coming because there are some remarkably fun things in there to knit. And one of them that's generating a lot of excitement is this pullover, again knit from the top down. And all the action again is up in the yoke. Okay, 52 weeks of scrap knitting, but you better get your scraps together in weights or colors, and then you better be prepared to get something else as well to go with it, because even this sweater is not that color work or that scrap. It's solid in the sleeves and the body. So you need to have enough of a scrap to make a body and sleeves and use up your little bits and pieces on the top. Well, I did a major clean out this Sunday. It was complete and total avoidance of putting my taxes together. So now I have to spend tomorrow doing that. But I went through all of my at-home stash and found baggies of leftover bits and pieces of sock yarn. And I put together some color groups because I love this sweater and I really want to make it. And yeah, it is written for fingering weight yarn. So those of you with sock stash or mohair stash, you're halfway there. Put it together, see what you need to fill the sweater out. Now you can look at the information page on Ravelry, and it will tell you how much you need. This requires, I'm just looking, let's see, about 1,400 yards total.
Makes sense.
Oh, actually, it's written for both weights, both fingering weight and DK weight, because it says you need 1,400 yards of fingering weight yarn, but you need half that quantity if you're going to use a DK weight yarn. So perfect, perfect, perfect. I cannot wait for this book to get here. It is on its way, and as usual, it takes a while because everything ships from Finland. So we have to wait for it to cross the ocean. But I ordered a lot of copies of this book, more than normal. I ordered 15 copies because I think it's going to be something that everybody's going to want. So if you want to see the other patterns that are in Ravelry and do a little pre-planning while you're doing some spring cleaning, then go ahead and look at Ravelry. Like I said, you can see the weights and how much yarn just by looking at that page. There's another book coming too, and I cannot remember. I was so swept away with 52 weeks. I can't remember what the other book is, but I'll tell you about it when it does get here. One more quick little thing. We got a little restock from Fox and Pine, and she has a couple of new things that I wanted to show you. So we got back in the chickens because chickens are oh so popular. We got more of those in. And to go with them, we got roosters.
Oh my gosh.
A match set, because you don't need just one set. If you're like Kate and I, you have more than one project going at a time. And if something's going in timeout or on hold, you don't want to pick that up and lose those stitches. So we got those two in. You know what? I put that chicken basket of Adrienne's in the window. And then they also came out with bumblebees, and these are really three-dimensional. It's one little one like that of this. And then they did another pair of chickens like this that's really puffy. I think it's over there on that
I
side.
already grabbed some.
Oh, you did. You grabbed. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Kate. I thought I just had that one. All right. So forget everything you just heard. You get big, fat, puffy chickens as well.
This looks like they can lay some eggs.
Lay some eggs. And wouldn't this be adorable as an Easter basket?
What is that?
Adrienne, my daughter, is making what we're calling little yarn boxes so that you can put your yarn in there when you're knitting and it won't go anywhere. And they're just really cute. And you can fit some of your tools in there as well. So a little pair of scissors, your tape measure, the stitch stoppers or markers, it's all right there in the convenient little box. It doesn't close. It's not meant to. It will go in your knitting bag easily, and then everything that you need is right there in that box. She's doing several different sizes. Yes, she rated Joann's.
I was wondering where she got the fabric from.
She did.
Look at how cute
And
this
she's made.
fabric is. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Laura.
I know.
Look at how cute that is.
I'm so excited that she's actually sewing. This is sunflowers, and this is a large size. So you could probably put your entire project in there, all the yarn that you needed, and then your ball on top of it. And then she's doing some tall ones as well in really fun, bright color. And these are they're actually double interfaced. She puts a heavy interface on the inside of the main fabric and then a lighter interfacing on the inside fabric, so they really stand up. They don't collapse at all. So they really work like that really, really well. So we have a continuing but small supply of this stuff. Yep, that and my yarn, and I'm ready. Because she can only make a few at a time, and we already sold out of her first 3. So this time we have 4, I think, in, and she's getting a few more ready to go. They're not on the website. They will be in-store purchases only. All right, let's see. Oh, upcoming classes. Susan Barron is doing a brioche class that meets twice. It meets 2 times. In the first session, you will learn how to do the basic brioche or get a reminder of 2 colors. And in the second session, the second meeting, you will expand on that and learn how to increase and decrease and keep the brioche pattern going. And that's when you do a lot of those fancy leaf designs and things like that. So I think there are 3 people in that class, so it's definitely going to go. If you are at all interested or you missed Brianna's brioche class, think about coming to Susan's, because you'll get the same kind of basic instruction plus. And then Susan has been teaching our Learn to Knit in 3 Hours class very successfully. She's had 3 full classes so far. So she's also going to be doing what we're calling next steps in knitting. And she brought in her sample for that class, which she designed and knit in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Right, Susan? Something like that. But this is the scarf that people will be learning how to knit in the next steps in knitting. So this is a beginner class. If you've learned how to knit and you've learned how to purl, but you're ready to move away from just stocking net stitch, which is this section, this is the class for you, because there are different stitch patterns that you will learn and get instruction on. You'll learn how to combine knits and purls to do the garter stitch edges all around the scarf, and a lot of other of Susan's tricks and techniques. Oh, wait a minute. Did I show the lobsters?
We didn't even show the crabs.
No, you didn't bring the crabs over.
Jumped back in the ocean.
Yes, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so if you know a beginner knitter who's ready to move on, then tell them about Susan's class, because that's coming up. All of these classes start in April. Be ready for that. And then on Saturday, this Saturday the 29th, I am doing a doodle hat, sort of a mini version of what we did at the Cape. And you can learn how to work with 2 colors, knit in the round, and work from a chart. Okay, of course, I needed to show these because we're coming up on summer. And if you are beaching it, you might need crabs on your knitting needles or lobsters. 2 more fun things. Okay, Susan's class. And in our cleaning out, Kate found these needles. And I have to show you, because this is what we used to have to knit with. I mean, these things are almost sticks. They're so hard, so incredibly hard. These are from Boy, and the aluminum is wearing off the tip. But these were called, oh, what were they called? Now I can't remember. But it was, instead of straight needles and not circular, you would end up with these. Yeah, that does not come off. And it's, oh my God, it's like, it's horrible.
Can you imagine if that was like the
It's the only thing. Yes,
no.
yes. I don't know how we did it, but we did, and we didn't complain. Or maybe we complained, and that's why we have all these great needle choices now.
So many good choices.
So many good choices. But that was a treasure from the past.
Wow.
All right, I think that covers everything. Everyday knits, yes. That's everything for today. This is the perfect cuddle up, snuggle up, and knit at home day. So take advantage of it, because spring is coming and you'll want to be out in the garden. I just know it. So in the meantime, I hope you find time this week to go knit something. Bye.